Yeah, well, Houston, you don't have a problem here, that's for sure. I mean, Greinke looks like he's going to be your guy.
Well, I mean, now they have 4 aces on that staff.
Yeah, I
You
know.
got Garrett Cole, Verlander. You know, I mean,
Verlander.
I mean, they and the funny thing that I didn't understand is why didn't the Yankees go out and get starting pitching? I was really surprised.
Yeah.
The Red Sox didn't make any moves either. I was really surprised that neither one of our teams made a move.
You know, I'm not too surprised that the Yankees didn't make a move. I mean, we have our guys, they're doing phenomenally well, and I didn't think it was going to be anything of a major change at all with the Yankees. So I'm not surprised that they didn't act quickly. And Brian Cashman, he stands by this decision. So I'm not blaming him or anything else. The only thing is that, and they say they're starting pitching. No, it's your middle relief that's the problem, not the starting. I have to disagree on that because that's where we see to have the leads, and then we kind of lose it a bit. So like the fourth, fifth, and sixth inning, that's where we started to teeter off a bit and letting the other guys get in. I know you'll make them competitive, but when you're building up momentum and then all of a sudden you just lose the composure by the fourth or fifth inning, that's a problem.
Yes,
and I find a problem.
Yeah. Well, and that'll definitely hurt you too going into the postseason because that's when you get through. So your starter pitcher goes 4 or 5, maybe 6 if you can get him that long without giving up too many runs. And then your bullpen's there to hold it down. And if your bullpen can't hold it down, then there it goes. You can lose games awful quick. But see, that's the funny thing. A lot of people, as far as what I heard yesterday, everybody's looking for starting pitching and, relief pitching is just as important. Again, we all know, too, as being sports fans and baseball fans, defense wins championships. We all know that. I know that, this year's been the year of the home run. I mean, there's been more home runs hit.
Yeah.
They said that weeks ago that the balls are being juiced. I heard on the Dan Patrick show the other day, he had on the pitcher's name now escapes my Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers, and he asked him straight up, "Do you think that the balls are juiced?" And said, "Well, I'm not going to make a comment on that, but I do know that it seems to be that the balls are getting out of the park a lot easier than they used to." So,
you sure not wonder that?
Well, that could be that too, Lewis. And he also talked about the whole, it's not really robot umpires, it's automatic umpiring. And he was against that because he said a lot of times your catchers are brought into the league as how they frame the ball. So if you take that away, then you're taking that aspect away from the catcher. So if they do that, they do go to that, automatic strike zone stuff, then that could be taking away from the framing that the catchers have. So he did talk about that as well.
Yeah. But we seem to have this conversation before because they did say that back in '98, with the home run chase with Sosa and McGuire. They were saying that too. When the ball's juiced, they were saying that 20 years ago. So I'm like thinking, is it like, words of Yogi Berra, is it deja vu all over again? I mean, are we seeing a repeat of what happened?
Well, I mean, but again, because baseball again is, it's a boring sport. They got to do something to bring the excitement back. So maybe they thought, hey, we'll juice the balls and have home runs again, because that seemed to be in 1998, you brought up a good point that they seemed to have, that was the best part of baseball, was those years when, they were chasing home runs. So maybe they think, hey, they'll bring that back, and maybe it'll bring excitement back to baseball,
Or they can have robots.
Or they can do that too. Too.
No, then again, because where the robot goes to rust, then what do you got?
Yeah. Well, and they were talking too about, what happens if, so you're going to have a computer calling balls and strikes. What happens if it gets compromised and this and that. So yeah, so that whole issue with the robot umpires or automatic strike zone, I think that's just hush hush talk to kind of get maybe the average baseball fan or somebody who's an outside baseball fan to kind of go, oh, well, they're going to fix that, so I better watch. Well, I don't know if I don't think that's coming anytime soon, in my opinion. I don't think that's coming.
Because, using robots, I think it's going to destroy the integrity of the game, to be honest with you.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that.
I think my generation would think so. The younger generation is going, wow, robots in the game. This is going to be something. Oh, boy. These millennials are all like.
Yeah. Yep. They. Well.
One thing before I do go, because I know you got something else. Tomorrow represents, a very sad day. I think as far as all of baseball history is concerned.
Lou Gehrig.
Nope.
Nope.
That was July 4th.
Okay.
Okay, you probably weren't around back in 1979. I was rather young myself.
That was 4 years before I was born. Yep.
Okay, you were born in 79 then.
No, I was born in 83.
Okay, well then you wouldn't remember though. But we lost a great Yankee player on August 2nd, 1979, by Thurman Munson.
Oh yes, they still have his locker in Yankee Stadium.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, he died in a plane crash, and that was his own plane.
Yeah, I remember that, Bruce, because when I got to tour the old Yankee Stadium, the one that they built for Babe Ruth, and we got to walk not really into the locker room, but like the entrance to the locker room. And they mentioned the tour guide mentioned that Munson's locker is still there. Nothing has been moved out of it. It's still there. I think when they moved to the new stadium, they moved all of his stuff into the locker in the new stadium as well. So it's still. But yes, I know who Thurman Munson is. He wore number 15, right? Is that the number he wore?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Then. Okay, and they have his number retired, correct? His number's out in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I found the next morning, I was completely devastated.
They have every single digit retired, right? The Yankees have 1 through 9 retired. Is that correct? Because 1 is Martin, 2 is Jeter, 3 is Ruth, 4 is Gehrig. 5 is DiMaggio. 6 was Mantle. Or was he 7? He's 7. Who was number 6?
Who was number 6? I gotta get back to that one.
And then 8 was there's 2 number 8s that have been retired. I think that's the number that's been retired twice. I know Yogi wore one of those single digit numbers. I think he wore 8 or he wore 10. One of them is retired.
I think it was
8. Okay. Yeah, so then, that number's retired twice. Because I remember seeing the number 8 retired a second time. So somebody must have wore it after Yogi, and then it got retired again.
I wonder how that came out, though. I mean, because I thought once you retire a number, you couldn't wear it anymore and get retired again.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure how that happened either, but I know it, if I remember correctly, when I went to Yankee Stadium, they had the 8 circle twice. So somebody had to
love this.
A second time. Well, I don't know who else wore that number, but I know that number's been retired twice.
Well, okay, I got the top 9, if you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Billy Martin, number 1, which, oh boy, what's crazy about him. Ruth, number 3.
Okay.
I don't think the Harry Jeter's up yet. I think it's a little bit outdated, but I'm sure it should be up there.
Yep, I agree.
Ruth number 3, Gehrig number 4.
Correct.
DiMaggio number 5.
Uh-huh.
Now number 6. Now this might be a bit of a stretch. He wasn't a player for the team, but he was involved with the team, so we'll give half credit on that one.
Okay.
Joe Torre.
Oh yes, the manager. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
though he was not a player for us, but he was involved with us.
And then 7 is Mantle, right?
The Mick. Number 8 was Yogi Berra, or Yogi Berra, as the case may be. Bill Dickey. Ooh, I forgot about that guy.
Bill Dickey.
And number 9, a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, but isn't. Why, I have no idea, but is deservingly there. Roger Maris.
Yes, Roger Maris is not in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Get out of here. How is that
Okay.
right? He set the home run record before McGwire did.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I know, but for some reason, there is a lot of controversy about that, and saying that that it was his only good season. If it wasn't for that, he would have been, he didn't have much of a batting average. Like, I'm not biased. I mean, he had some World Series titles to go along with it too,
Well, didn't he have like a 257 lifetime batting average? I mean,
something like that, yes.
Would be any major league would have to have a 250 batting average. I mean,
I think they want guys over 300.
And he was a great outfielder.
Yes.
So how that is asinine that he is not in the Hall of Fame.
Well, his family's been trying to get him in for years, and nothing has come up.
Wow,
but I agree. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and it's a shame that all these years later he's still not.
That is just absolutely just that does not make any sense.
No, it doesn't
make any sense at all. Because I mean, back when with him and Mick, they have the M&M Boys. I remember I watched that movie that Billy Crystal made, and that's one of my favorite movies. About them, about that the year that they were both going for the single season home run record. I cannot believe he is not in the Hall of Fame. That is just that's just wrong.
I guess Billy Martin. It's also that Billy Martin is in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean,
could be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
You have Steinbrenner. Ugh.
Well, I mean, did you have a problem with George Steinbrenner?
Constantly. I never I know he was a team owner, and I gotta respect him, but still, I mean, he was gotta be like I hate to say it, but maybe like the villain.
22-yard line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing about him is, being that I live in Tampa Bay area, his name is all over Tampa. Of course, the Yankees do their spring training here in Tampa, but right. There's a high school named after him in the Tampa Bay area. So, I mean, he did a lot for the area. So, I know one time, I don't know if it was like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, his sons were trying to move them out of here, and everybody was like, "Oh no, you're not moving the Yankees out of Tampa." So, I don't know. I still cannot believe that Roger Maris is not in the Hall of Fame. That really
I know.
It's me hard, because there's no reason why he shouldn't be there. There's no reason why he should not be there. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, and I think, to be honest with you, Pete Rose will be in the Hall of Fame when he dies. I don't think they're putting him in the Hall of Fame while once he dies, they'll put him in. They'll put him in. But Roger Maris not being in there.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take examine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about this evening?
Well, let's see. I think I covered baseball. I covered football, and the coaches poll rankings came out today for college football.
Okay. Can you give me the top 10?
Well, right now we only have 2, and I think the most obvious, of course, is there.
Yeah.
Alabama and Clemson, of course. Stop if you heard this before.
Well, I mean, is it safe to say that maybe those will be in the national championship again for a 3rd straight year?
I don't know if I really trust the coaches poll, to be honest. I mean, that's not really accurate. I go more by the Associated Press. I think they're more reliable.
Mm-hmm.